Thinking about relocating to Cedar City, Utah? Known as Festival City, USA, this vibrant community offers fantastic education, beautiful mountain views, and a host of cultural activities. But is it the right fit for you? In today's video, we're going to explore the pros and cons of living in this beautiful community. And if you stick around to the end, I'll share a bonus pro with you that just might seal a deal for you when it comes to Cedar City, Utah. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Scott Walters with Best USA Realty. I am your Utah YouTubing realtor, talking all things what it's like to live, sleep, eat, work, and play in Utah. Cedar City is located on the southwestern edge of Utah, close to the St. George area, about an hour away from that area. So it is a bit isolated as far as it's about 4 hours from the Salt Lake City area. It's a city of about 29,000 people, and the elevation is actually just over 5,800 feet. So with that, let's get into the pros and cons of Cedar City, Utah. I think one of the first pros I got to talk about is just affordability. Compared to the Wasatch Front, Cedar City is way more affordable. In fact, the median income, or the median home price, according to Zillow, is $443,300. If you go anywhere along the Wasatch Front, that's going to be well over $500,000 and $600,000 in most places. And even down in St. George, you're over $500,000 for the median home price. So here in Cedar City, you just have more affordable housing options. All right, so there's a reason that Cedar City is called Festival City, USA. And Southern Utah University, where I'm at right now, is really at the heart of all that. They always have an annual Shakespeare festival here in Cedar City. I actually remember my grandma back in the 80s coming down and going to those Shakespeare festivals. She was an English teacher at a college in Idaho. She loved coming to those festivals, those Shakespeare festivals. They even have a theater back here that's like a replica of the Shakespeare Theater. I'm not sure if I'm calling that right. My daughter and my son, who are big theater enthusiasts, are going to be very disappointed in me that I can't remember the name of that theater, but it's pretty darn cool. There's also, my daughter also wanted me to make sure to mention some of those cultural events and other festivals they have are the Groove Fest Music and Art Festival, and they also have the Neil Simon Festival and the Cedar City Sky Fest hot air balloon. So just a lot of festivals just make this a really welcoming community. Okay, that there right behind me, that's pretty much one of the main pros to living in Cedar City, Utah. It is the home to Southern Utah University. I remember dropping my daughter off here back in, I think it was 2018, maybe it's 2017. Our oldest child, dropping her off to go to college. This is where she went to college. She got her English degree here at Southern Utah University. She absolutely loved it. It was a fantastic, very welcoming and open place to get a great education. It is the largest university in Southern Utah. They do have Utah Tech down in St. George, but Cedar City Southern Utah University is the largest in this southwestern region of Utah. You know, one of the things that makes SUU so inviting is it's really one of the most affordable in-state Utah tuition universities in the state. The other universities are much more expensive to attend. In fact, my daughter was able to get enough scholarships, and just with the cost of tuition and everything, she had her entire 4 years of college paid for because of those scholarships, but also because it's just more affordable than other universities here in Utah. Okay, another big pro for me is just the access to outdoor activities and recreation in Cedar City. Right up against the beautiful mountains back there in that backdrop. You'd go right up Cedar Canyon, get up to Cedar Breaks, which is kind of like a miniature Bryce Canyon. So beautiful up there. You've got quick access going up that canyon to get to BrianHead, which is a beautiful ski resort in that area. You've also got Penguich Lake up on top of there. Beautiful place to go fishing and just enjoy camping and all those outdoor activities. Lots of beautiful hiking and biking available in this area, and Cedar City is just a beautiful location to be able to experience all the great outdoors. Now, in addition to that, my final pro would be just the proximity to all the national parks. You're about an hour to Zion National Park from Cedar City, Utah. You're less than that to the Kolob arm of Zion National Park. I would guess you're probably 20 minutes or so from that Kolob arm of Zion National Park here from Cedar City, so really close. Again, I'm going to estimate about 2 hours, maybe a little bit more, to Bryce Canyon National Park, which that's my personal favorite national park here in Utah, is Bryce Canyon National Park. You're a little bit further away to Capitol Reef, as well as Arches and Canyonlands. Capitol Reef, I'm going to estimate probably 2.5, 3 hours, and probably 4 hours plus to over to Arches and Canyonlands from here. But it's also not too far away from the Grand Canyon, probably about 3.5 hours to the north rim of the Grand Canyon here from Cedar City, Utah. So it makes it, Cedar City is just a great place to live if you really enjoy getting out and visiting all those beautiful national parks. You have so many that are so close. Are you looking to purchase a home? I'd love for you to comment buyer's guide down below, and I'll show you what it looks like to purchase a home here in Utah from start to finish. I want to make sure you're comfortable with the entire process. We'll cover pre-approval, inspections, all the way to the closing table. By the time you're done watching this video, you'll know just as much as any real estate agent about purchasing a home. I'd be honored to be your realtor, so comment buyer's guide down below. All right, so it is March 15th, 2025. We had a snowstorm overnight here in Cedar City, and that is one of my cons. It's a higher elevation here at 5,800 feet above sea level. You are going to experience winter here in Cedar City, Utah. My suggestion to you is have a strong back, a good shovel, and probably better than that, a great snowblower, or even perhaps a four-wheeler with a snowplow blade on it, just to get you through those days when winter's a little bit unbearable. You can see that today there wasn't too much. Again, this is kind of a spring snowstorm, so it didn't bring too much snow, but there can be times when you're going to see a foot or two here in Cedar City area. You're going to have to deal with that. The nice thing, this city does a good job of keeping the roads plowed, as well as one of the nice things about living in Utah is it generally warms up in the day such that it melts the snow off the streets, so that you don't have iced up roads all the time. But just know you will deal with snow here in Cedar City. Now let's talk another con, and that is the potential for wildfires. Utah experiences wildfires pretty much every season, so you're going to deal with this wildfire threat pretty much in every city in Utah. In fact, last year in Cedar City, just in those mountains up above here, they did experience some wildfires that took them a little while to get those put out. And so that can bring some poor air quality from time to time, as that smoke comes down and fills these valley areas with some smoke. So if you're someone that deals with some respiratory issues, just know that in the summertime you're going to deal with wildfire. Most summers there's going to be wildfire nearby, or wildfire smoke blowing in from states from outside of Utah, like California or Oregon or so forth. So just be aware that we do have some risk of wildfires. Now let's talk another con, and that is Cedar City's a bit isolated. It's more on the southwestern end of Utah, and so the largest major city, closest major city here would be St. George, which is about an hour away. And so just to have more shopping and opportunities that way, you're going to be driving down to St. George. But you know, they do have shopping here. You've got the main shopping center up at the south end of Cedar City. So there's a lot, there's a Walmart Supercenter out there, a Home Depot, a bunch of movie theater. Well, there's a movie theater, a bunch of restaurants. There's a gym in that area. So you have shopping. You also have shopping in the old commercial districts along 400 North, coming into town, as well as on the old highway in town. There's some shopping centers and grocery stores, but there are no big malls here in Cedar City. The closest you're going to get to that would be going down to St. George. And again, you're about 4 hours to Salt Lake. So to get to any of the shopping or that type of entertainment activities, you're driving several hours to the north. Las Vegas is about 3 hours from here. So of course, you're going to have a lot more options for shopping in that area, but that's just one of the cons. It's just a little bit isolated because of its location. Now, also because of that limit, you're going to have a little bit of limit on specialized healthcare. There's healthcare facilities and hospitals here, but for more specialized care, you're probably also going to have to drive down to St. George, to the St. George Regional Hospital, or perhaps even have to go up to Utah Valley University, or even further on up to the hospitals in Salt Lake, or even perhaps down to centers down in Las Vegas, just because of where St. George is located. You're just a little bit away from all of those healthcare options. Now, one of the other cons I want to mention is just when it comes to entertainment, of course you've got some gyms and you've got the movie theater and some golf courses, but when it comes to big entertainment like concerts or professional sports teams. You don't have any of that here in Cedar City. That's quite a ways away. I mean, again, it's about 3 hours down to Las Vegas if you want to be able to catch in all that Las Vegas has to offer, all the entertainment, the casinos, as well as maybe catch in a hockey game with the Vegas Golden Knights or perhaps the Las Vegas Raiders. And then you're probably about 4 hours from here up to Salt Lake, where you could go check out a Utah Jazz game, Utah Hockey Club, and perhaps the Real Salt Lake soccer team. So when it comes to kind of that big city entertainment, you don't have that here in Cedar City. You're going to be traveling either down to St. George, Las Vegas, or up to Utah County and Salt Lake County. Finally, one last con just would be the limited job market. In fact, you know, where I'm at here, Southern Utah University, that's going to be your main employer here in Cedar City, Utah, that brings probably your higher paying jobs. Not a whole bunch of tech jobs. A lot of those jobs lie up in the Salt Lake area and Utah County area along the Silicon Slopes there by Lehigh and Draper. So, you know, I'm sure there's always options to be able to work from home for those types of jobs, but if you've got to have go into an office for a high-tech job, there's just not a lot of those types of opportunities here. Mainly the biggest employer would be Southern Utah University. Almost forgot to share my bonus pro with you, and that is just the close access to the BrianHead ski resort area. You're probably, I'm going to say, less than an hour up to BrianHead. It's a beautiful drive getting up there. You're going to go past Cedar Breaks National Monument, which is beautiful, again, kind of like a miniature Bryce Canyon. And then BrianHead has some fantastic skiing that's very affordable. I've even seen rates as low as $19 for ski lift passes, which you can't find. If you go to any of the ski resorts up in the Salt Lake area, you're spending a whole lot more than $19. So it's a beautiful ski resort area, super close to Cedar City. All right, well, there you have it. There's some pros and cons of living in Cedar City, Utah. Would you live here? Make a comment down below and let me know. Again, my name's Scott Walters with Best USA Realty. I am your Utah YouTubing realtor, talking about all things what it's like to live, sleep, eat, work, and play in the Utah area. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap on that notification bell so you can stay current every time I drop another video about living in Utah. And if you found this video helpful, you might also enjoy my video about the BrianHead Resort that's just up above Cedar City. You can watch that video by clicking on somewhere up here. Or if you just want to know more what it's like about living in Utah, you can go check out the Things They Don't Tell You About Utah video that I've made. You can also watch that by clicking on somewhere up here. And with that, we will catch you on the next video.